Well, Chris has sort of thrown down a challenge.
Yeah.
Last week, Chris made some mince pies and gave them to Jan, and Jan and Tony really enjoyed them and said they were the best mince pies they've ever had. And Chris went,
No, Steve's the better.
Steve's the better. So I've been challenged to make some mince pies. Now, you remember how it went when I did the lardy cake?
Oh my God. I forgot about that.
So let's see how we get on today, shall we? So, basically what we're going to do, we're going to start with the ingredients. And we've got plain flour. We have got golden caster sugar. Now, I cheat. I don't make the mincemeat. I use supermarket mincemeat. And we need some vanilla essence. And we need egg and butter. So we're going to mix all this together and see how it goes.
Yeah.
So the first thing we need is 200 grams of butter. So I'm going to weigh that on the scales. 184.
You're going to be adding, taking away, adding, taking away.
Add and subtract, add and subtract.
Yeah.
So I reckon...
What about the weight of the paper?
Oh yeah, you've got to
See,
take
I'm being finicky now.
Yeah, 195. That'll do. Doesn't need to be exact, does it?
Well,
Right, so I need a chopping board. Because what I'm going to do now is I'm going to dice the butter up into small chunks so it mixes easier. Flour, so let's do that.
There you go.
So I've pre-measured the 350 grams of plain flour, and what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put that in the food mixer.
See, I didn't do this.
Chris?
I did it with me fingers, me thumb and me fingers, and I rubbed it in. But Steve uses the blender, so we'll just see
And
what
then
happens.
I'll just distribute the butter
I think his is a lot easier.
into the flour. Takes a bit of time, this one. The reason I've chunked the butter is it just helps it to mix better in the blender. You could put it in as a one chunk, I guess, but there you go.
No, it does say to cut it up.
It does indeed. Well, that's a good start.
Yes.
Well, have I not shut the lid properly?
It will only work if it's completely closed properly, the top.
Worrying for a minute.
Does it so quick?
It does indeed. So that looks like that is now ready. I'll just check, make sure we've got no lumps of butter anywhere. No, so that's it, that's done.
Amazing.
So now what we're going to do, we're going to put that in the bowl. Right, so now what we're going to do, we're going to add 100 grams of caster sugar. Now I weigh this out on the scales. Now I suppose really what I could do is I could put that in the blender and mix it in, couldn't I?
It's easy just to
It's
do
easy
that.
just
like
to do that. So we'll add that.
And the salt,
And a pinch of salt.
which is in that cupboard, and hope nothing else falls out.
Now, I'm used to something like Saxa salt in a tub.
No,
But I've been searching this cupboard for the last 2 minutes and can't find it. But Chris has just pointed out to me that that is salt.
But look at the top of it. It's in a pepper pot.
It's in a pepper pot. So how am I supposed to find it in that? So just a pinch. And a bit more for that.
Just as well we got the sugar in it.
Right. We'll mix that up. And the mixture then is virtually ready. That's all it is. It's just the flour, the sugar. Mix it up to a breadcrumb consistency. That's all I do. So that's all mixed in now. So it says separated an egg and put the yolk in. I've got to find an egg now. There it is. Now, how good am I at cracking an egg? Not very.
I hate cracking eggs. I hate it.
I
That's the
do.
first hurdle done. Not breaking the yolk as you tip it in.
Yep. Now what we've got to do is try and separate it from the white.
Yeah, just tip it side to side.
So then we pop the yolk of the egg in. It says fold it in with a knife. So So I'm just going to fold it in, oops, with the spoon. And I warn you now, everything gets messy when I'm doing this.
Yeah, it does.
Add water a tablespoon at a time and stir with a knife until it starts to clump.
It's rather windy out there now.
It's getting rather windy, yes. We are, while we're doing this, we're in the grips of a storm.
Well, that's not been named.
Which hasn't been named yet, but we're in the grips of 50-mile-an-hour gusts.
Yes.
So, if I'm rocking about on the camera, it's the camera being rocked about in the boat.
And while Steve and I are doing that, Smudge is just laying down there on his blanket.
So I'm just adding 1 tablespoon to start with.
There's my Christmas village.
What is it, 2 caps of vanilla?
Yeah, 2 caps.
So we're going to add now, before I add any more water, I'm going to add 2 caps of vanilla essence. It just gives it that sweeter flavour. And not that dry taste that you normally get. Trouble is you have to be careful with the water because you can overdo it. And I've done that in the past and ended up with a gooey mess. So we'll probably see how this goes now.
Been rocked then. Felt that one.
Yeah, I'm not, honestly, I'm not drunk. Can you see the camera moving? That's how much the boat's being rocked at the moment.
I thought you did it in the mixer.
Well, I'm going to do it in the mixer.
Put it back in the mixer because I'm sure you did it in that.
It's not lumping up. It should be. Now you might want to ask, why am I putting it in the mixer?
Kneading it, isn't it? Or should
it should be. It's almost like kneading it. But what I found is it puts a little bit more air in the pastry and makes it lighter. Now, I'm not a cook, I'm not a chef by any means. So, but we'll see how this. Just 1 more, I think, and that should do it. Just add that in there. That's better.
Yes.
Right. Now we have a consistency we're looking for. So we'll stick that back in the bowl. And the last thing, just knead it into a nice little ball. Oh, that's better.
Just takes all the hard work out of it.
It does.
Doing it in that mix. Now what have you got to do to it?
Leave it in the fridge for an hour. So we're going to give that an hour.
And then we'll come back.
And then we'll come back and continue. Right, well, it's been in the fridge for an hour and it's gone off quite nicely. So we'll give it a go and see what happens. So I'm just going to lightly flour the base, the chopping board, just so that it doesn't stick. Now what I did last time is I divided this up into 2 halves. So 1/3 will be for the lids and 2/3 will be for the bases, and anything that's left over on the 2/3 piece, that will be used for the lids as well. So all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to try and roll this out. This is where the flouring of the rolling pin and everything else comes in. So let's see how this is going to go. So I like to try and roll it out to roughly 5mm. Now I say roughly because I don't get a dipstick or a measuring thing out, but I just keep rolling it until I get it. I think it's about the right size. I think that's about it. Maybe a bit more this end. No, that's perfect. So what I'm using is actually a muffin tray. So, yeah, it's a bit deeper. It uses a bit more mincemeat, but the pies do taste so much better. So we don't have the right size cutters on board, so I'm improvising. And I'm using my big whiskey glass for the base and its little cousin for the lids. So let's see how that works out. 4. Now I'm just going to do 6 for the purpose of the video now. So we've got 6, we'll just roll that all up again into a bass. Now it's not wasted because we can re-roll it, of course, and make some more. Moment of truth time. Do my patties fit in the tray? And the answer is perfectly. Now you don't want them right to the top because that's where your lids are going to sit. So the fact that these are just below the top is perfect. And that's our bases. So we're going to leave them in there. And now we're going to have a go at the lids. That looks about the right thickness. So we'll see how we go from that. Gosh, we're getting rocked around here now, Chris, aren't we? So there's our 6 lids. So we'll bring our trays back. Now, as I said before, I don't make the mincemeat. I don't know how. I don't profess to be a chef or a cook. So I'm simply using this jar of mincemeat. Other brands are available. And I'm just going to spoon in the mince. To join the lids to the bases, I'm going to use some milk and just paste a bit of milk on, so bear with me. All I'm really going to do is I'm just going to run some milk around the edges of the tops. Don't have to be perfect, just as long as you've got some there on the top. That's it, simple as that. And now what we're going to do, we're going to add our lids. And as you can see, they sit in there really nicely. Now you can decorate the tops now to taste, but basically all I do is I get a teaspoon and I literally just go around and scallop the edges with the back of the spoon. All I'm really doing is just pushing the top down into the base, and there we are. That's the first 6 ready. I'm not going to bore you by doing the other 6, so I'll leave them at that. But the last thing to do is just prep the tops, because you want the air to escape while they're cooking, otherwise the lids will blow off. So that should just about do it, and then they're ready for the oven. So we'll throw them in the oven for 15 to 25 minutes until they're nicely cooked, and then we'll see how they come out. So there we are, 12 mince pies ready for the oven, and the little squares on the top are just to waste. And there we are, 12 mince pies and 4 knobs of pastry that we had left over, cooked into little biscuits. So we'll let them cool now, and we'll see how they've turned out. Well, there you go. That's the mince pies made. The final part of the challenge now, of course, is to taste them. Well, but we're going to let them cool down for now. So
yeah, and then Jan's going to taste them.
Jan's going to taste them, and we will let you know in the next vlog how they turned out. We've
asked her to be truthful as well, hasn't we?
We have indeed.
Whether she preferred my mince pies or whether she will prefer Steve's mince pies. And then whoever she prefers is going to have to make them for the rest of the summer.
Yeah. So there you go.
The Steve's.
So this is going to be our Christmas vlog.
Yes.
So the normal vlog won't be out on Sunday, but we will resume service the following Sunday. So I do hope that you and your family and all your friends are enjoying the Christmas period coming up. And we hope that you really do have a good new year, and that 2025 is kind to you. And we just want to say thank you so much for viewing and watching our vlogs. And that's it really, isn't it?
Yes, I think I will say we've got an exciting 2025 coming up, haven't we?
Yes, we have. For those of you that don't know, I'll let Chris give you the news.
Yes, we're going to become grandparents at the end of April, beginning of May, depending when the baby decides to arrive. We don't know what it is, and neither do Amy and Matt, actually.
Oh, I thought they were going to go for a gender reveal.
Well, they were.
But they're not now.
But the sonographer, or whatever it's called, couldn't tell them what it was because the baby wasn't having any of it. He or she is keeping his secret till the very end.
Whatever it is, we reckon it's going to be an athlete because it's flying around inside Amy and giving her butterflies and all sorts.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed all goes well for that. And of course, we will let you know the outcome
Yes, we will.
for that one. So once again, thank you so much for joining us. We really do enjoy having your company along on the vlogs. It means so much. And to our live crew, again, thank you so much, guys. You really don't know how much it means when we see the comments on the live feed.
We love it.
And how much you guys actually enjoy it. It means an awful lot to us. And it's the one reason that we keep the live feed going is because we know.
And cute, that's one of the daughters.
Sorry about that. That was our Amy calling for an update on how things are going.
Yeah.
So, yeah, as I was saying, you don't know how much it pleases us to know that you guys watching the live feed watch it with such extent that it means an awful lot to you. It's blown us away at how much the live feed has been accepted and what it means to you guys. I mean, when we started the live feed, we had no idea it was going to become as popular as it is. So once again, bless you guys.
Yes,
thank you very much. And we'll cut you loose and have a very happy holidays. Happy New Year to you all. And we'll see you in the new year.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.